Let me take you back to the moment this entire mess cracked open. Not a rumor, not a whisper, not a random tweet. A call. A call so strange, so tense, so out of nowhere that even the person receiving it froze for a second before answering. This wasn't a journalist. This wasn't a troll. This wasn't someone looking for attention. This was a woman who sounded like her heartbeat was in her throat.
Do you have a secure line?
Not hello, not who she was. Just that, a warning disguised as a question. The kind of line only people with secrets use.
Okay, what do you have?
She doesn't breathe for 3 seconds.
A man sent me a tape, a very explicit tape, of a model actress, 4 years ago.
What kind of tape?
The kind you can't unsee, and she's performing everything.
Okay, but who is she? What actress are we talking about?
The woman hesitates again, not because she doesn't know the name, but because she knows dropping it will blow a hole through the room.
Her name is Meghan, and she's about to marry a prince.
Wait, Meghan who?
Meghan, bleep.
And heavy with the weight of things people only say behind closed doors. And according to those who shared fragments of this hidden chapter, there was one moment, one private, silent second behind palace walls, where Prince Harry allegedly heard something that made him freeze completely still. A moment tied to a mysterious still frame, a controversial old image, and a rumor people still argue about to this day, not confirmed, not authenticated but persistent. The kind of rumor that refuses to die because nobody can prove it, and nobody can kill it. This is where the story truly begins. Before the tape rumor came, the still, the photograph. A single unclear image that drifted around Hollywood like a ghost. Grainy, low resolution, impossible to verify, but clear enough for people to claim, it looks like her. Some said the picture was from years ago. Some said it was pulled from a film only a handful of people ever knew existed. Some swore it was Meghan Markle without question. Others insisted it was a lookalike. But the unsettling part was this. No one ever agreed, and no one ever proved anything. Yet the image kept coming back. Every few years, like clockwork, it resurfaced. Not viral, not mainstream, just quietly, stubbornly present.
And along with it came the same chilling question. Is this really her? That question was enough, because in the world of fame, rumors don't survive because they are true. Rumors survive because people believe they could be true. Before Meghan had a royal title, a global spotlight, or a palace pathway, she had this shadow following her. A shadow made of a photo nobody could explain, a tape nobody had seen, whispers nobody could verify. And Hollywood years Meghan never talks about. This wasn't proof. This wasn't confirmation. This was a mystery. And mysteries live longer than facts. And when someone finally asked, where did the still come from? The answer people whispered was always the same. From the tape. A tape that nobody could find. A tape that nobody could prove. A tape that had become a myth. But the myth kept the rumor alive, because sometimes the idea of a scandal is more powerful than the scandal itself. If the first half of Meghan's alleged past was built on rumors and shadows, the next part shifts into something far more dangerous. Because this time, according to insiders, the whispers didn't stay in the dark. They were written down, recorded, stored, in a file, a dossier, a collection of fragments that someone assembled long before the world ever heard her name. No one knows exactly who built it. Some claim it was a private investigator hired by a former associate. Others say it came from a photographer who kept insurance files on multiple actresses he worked with. And a few insist it was compiled by someone inside the Soho House pipeline itself, someone who knew how their world worked. What everyone agrees on is this. Harry was never meant to see it, not because it was damning, not because it was explicit,
but because it painted a picture of Meghan's early world that was complicated, strategic, and filled with the type of relationships the royal family avoids at all costs. And it all began with a single email. But the claim that matters is the one repeated by those who said they glimpsed the file. Someone wanted Harry to hesitate. Someone wanted him to question what he didn't know. and when Harry allegedly confronted Meghan with a softened version of what he'd been told. She didn't deny everything. She redirected, she reframed. She offered explanations that sounded polished, emotional, and convincing. Those close to the situation say she cried, claiming her past had been twisted by jealous people she cut out of her life. Andrew. The idea that Meghan and Prince Andrew had any form of pre-royal connection is unproven, unverified, and heavily disputed. But in the world of rumour, the world your competitor uses, this name holds weight because of what Andrew symbolises. Private circles, wealthy networks, elite gatherings, controversial associates, unspoken secrets. According to the alleged file, Andrew's name didn't appear in a scandalous context. It appeared in a guest log, a charity yacht event list, a Soho House dinner seating plan from years before Meghan met Harry. But proximity is enough to start a fire when the royal family is involved. And insiders claim this is what truly shook Harry, that Meghan knew of Andrew years before she claimed she did. Not romantically, not intimately, simply socially. But that alone was enough to create suspicion. Because the Windsors fear one thing above all: secrets from the past resurfacing at the worst possible time. When Harry reportedly pressed for clarity, another name resurfaced: Markus Anderson, the quiet puppeteer of Soho House. The alleged dossier suggested Markus facilitated introductions, smoothed over social gaps, and connected Meghan upward in ways that seemed too precise to be coincidence. Not illegal, not immoral, just strategic. But strategy in the royal world is often interpreted as manipulation. And according to sources, this is the moment Harry realized he wasn't marrying a simple Hollywood actress. He was marrying someone who knew how to navigate powerful men. Someone who had climbed worlds far more complex than he imagined. This alone made the palace nervous. But the final part of the file, the one Harry wasn't supposed to see, was the part that allegedly sent shockwaves through the inner circle. A voice message, old, distorted, nearly erased, a woman whispering,
"You don't understand. She knows how to make men fall in love with her. She always has a plan."
Whether this voicemail was real or fabricated, no one knows. But the message it carried was undeniable. There were people from Meghan's past who believed she was far more calculated than she ever admitted publicly. And when Harry heard this, the wedding was only 2 weeks away. Because according to those closest to the situation, Harry didn't walk into the final confrontation with calm curiosity. He walked in already shaken, already nervous, already unsure of how much of Meghan's world he truly understood. And what happened next, the palace says it never occurred. But insiders who claim they were present tell a very different story. It happened late, too late for a royal conversation to be normal. The palace was quiet. Guards were outside, and Meghan was in one of the guest rooms, reviewing notes for an upcoming interview. Harry entered without knocking. People who know him say he only does that when he's overwhelmed. He didn't sit, he didn't breathe, he just stood there, holding a printed page from the dossier. A page with 3 names on it: Markus Anderson, Ronald Burkle, Prince Andrew.
Just appearing together in a chain of alleged events that Meghan never mentioned. She looked up, calm at first, then tense, because Meghan recognized the paper immediately. It wasn't the information that scared her. It was the fact Harry had seen it. Witnesses claim Harry's voice cracked on the question, not angry, not attacking, just lost. He asked why Marcus's role in her early life was always minimized, why Burkle's name came up in private circles but never in her version of the story, why Andrew's name appeared years before she ever claimed to meet anyone royal. Not accusations, questions. And questions are more dangerous than accusations inside the royal system. Because accusations can be denied, but questions force explanations. Meghan allegedly tried to answer calmly.
"Those were networking years. I don't owe anyone details of a life before you."
But Harry pushed again.
Then why do they seem to know more about your past than I do?
According to the whispers, this sentence is what broke her composure. She didn't cry immediately, she didn't shout. She simply stopped speaking altogether. A reaction that, insiders say, terrified everyone more than anger would have. Because silence meant something was wrong. Very wrong. When Meghan's silence stretched into minutes, people outside the room grew nervous. An aide called another. A private secretary alerted Charles's office. Someone whispered, not because of danger, but because anything related to Andrew, even peripherally or mistakenly, is considered radioactive inside the monarchy. The Windsors survive by managing information, and unmanaged information is a threat. Within an hour, senior staff allegedly held an emergency call. What did Harry see? How much did he believe? How much did Meghan admit? Could this derail the engagement? One insider said,
"It wasn't panic about scandal, it was panic about chaos, because chaos is what destroys royal structures."
Here is the part whispered only in private circles. The royal family didn't investigate Meghan's past. They suppressed the dossier instead, not to protect her, to protect the institution. Because anything involving Andrew, even a mistaken connection, becomes a crisis. The order allegedly given was simple. Screenshots were deleted, emails were encrypted, devices wiped, advisors told never to speak of it again. And to Harry, the official line was, "It's nothing. People are jealous. Focus on the wedding." He believed them publicly. He defended her fiercely. But insiders say the doubt remained, quietly, like a splinter under the skin. After the palace resolved the matter, Meghan approached Harry privately. People outside the room heard the final part, not the words, but the sound. A long conversation, a long cry.